I work with a lot of different clients in different age groups. And while all ages can be guilty of this, I do work with a lot of type A women in high-driven careers or high-driven roles. They might be doctors, CEOs, attorneys. They're probably the main. Bankers actually would be another one. You sometimes get women in these fields, or I will sometimes get women in this field who come to me, and they're very action taking is great. Don't get me wrong. Like if you're out there meeting men taking action, awesome, good on you. But the action taking comes with an absolute dire focus on the result. And what actually happens in a lot of these sort of Wall Street super work type environments is you get a lot of this immature masculine energy floating around. And I use immature because it's different to mature. Immature masculine energy is really trying to prove itself. It must get to a result. Bang, bang, bang. It's all about beating the next guy to a result, and it's forcing results through action over and over, and you never sleep, so you get action. And if you're in these environments and thinking that way, it can be very easy to fall into that pattern in your dating life. And by that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with going out to meet guys. In fact, as I say, that's fantastic. But if you get focused on the result, you're applying the immature masculine, you're forcing the relationship, or you're forcing things forward, or you're wanting the next thing to happen. It's always the next result. As opposed to the healthy feminine is in the process. So while she will be radiant, she will still put herself out there, she will still meet men, she will be attached to the process, to the actions of doing it, to the radiance of simply being out there, rather than doing it to get to the next level. Mm-hmm. A lot of women, especially those, like I say, in high-powered jobs who are in that 40-plus age bracket, who force things for the result. And that's a big mistake because it's not only masculine, but it's an immature masculine. It's not a healthy masculine, and it doesn't allow things to naturally radiate and happen like the healthy, relaxed masculine and feminine will.
Okay, so I want to explore this just a little bit more. So you said she's in the process rather than being focused on the outcome.
Exactly.
Or the result. Yes? Is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly. So she's putting herself out there. She's out there, taking the action and meeting people, but it's not with a dire focus. I must get to the next level, which is a very corporate mindset. I must get to the next pay bracket. I must get to the next relationship level so that I can have X, Y, Z or feel X, Y, Z. Throughout the process, she's radiant, enjoying and happy in the process. And if a man comes in through that process who adds heaps of value, she will say, hey, if you're here with me, you've added lots of value, I've added lots of value. Now I think it's a good idea now. I've kind of come to this conclusion from the situation to raise things up a level, to go to commitment or to go to the next level, whatever it is. But she's not doing the whole journey just for that specific outcome. She's doing it to fill her life with radiance in the present. And then if a guy shows himself, she's like, yeah, I want to go further with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this might look like, I'm just trying to make this really accessible. This might look like when you're on a date and you're sitting there thinking, is he the guy? Is he right for me? Or you're interviewing him with questions because you want to know right now if this is the relationship before you invest any more time and energy. That would be more focused on outcome.
Right, exactly.
Where process would be relaxing, being in the moment.
Right. I worked with a client yesterday and so often I work with women. And in this case, this guy had been great for a month. Like the first month, he's talking the talk. He's awesome, right? And she just mentally, she flicked the switch. And she's like, yep, he's the guy. Done. Which after a month was fine. Cool. He's doing well. But then she comes to me 3 months later. And the last 3 months have been useless. I don't think had they spoken? I think they'd only been texting for the past 2 months, and it had been like lazy wish-wash texts. And she's still in the first month, and we're at month 4. And so going back to point 2, when you're in that relaxed state where you're not forcing things, you're seeing things if they add value, you're seeing if the guy adds value, either on a micro level, at a single date, or as the months go by. You don't end up getting stuck in a previous decision. It's kind of like if your internet browser jams up and you just sit there looking at it. You're like, it'll unjam itself soon. No, it won't. You click refresh and you're like, oh, it's obviously broken. A lot of women, and this often happens around the time of sex, which is incidentally often when men stop chasing, but a lot of women have this weigh-up process where they think, is this the guy, is this the relationship? And then once the decision is made, it's not up for reevaluation. And they come to me 60% of the relationship later, so a significant amount of time later where the guy's been adding very little value, and the original decision hasn't been reassessed. And if you really want to keep men chasing, if you really want to have relationships that always add value to your life, then as time goes on, that decision is always under reassessment. This isn't to say you're going to drop someone straight. That's not it at all. And the more time someone invests in you, obviously the more leeway they get. But I use the guideline of about 10 to 20%. And what that basically means is how much value has the guy added in the last 10 to 20% of the time you have known him. In other words, if you've been dating for 100 days, how's he gone in the last 10 to 20 days? You know, how much value has he added in that time? And would you date him based exclusively on the last 10 to 20 days? And now we're refreshing our assessments, right? He has one bad day, who cares? Everyone does. He has a bad week, you've been dating him 100 days, it's probably fine. But once he hits that 10 to 20% mark, the really confident, high-value woman knows that, she has to ask herself the question ongoingly, is this guy adding value? And so if you're making decisions early, and if you're getting stuck on the outcome, what ends up happening is you go, all right, is this person a relationship material? You tick the box, and then often you'll find yourself, like my client did yesterday, many months down the line into only a 4-month relationship with a person that's not serving her and hasn't been for a while. Whereas if she had made that decision over a much greater extent of time and just ongoingly reassessed it and relaxed in the process, she would be consistently attracting relationships that add value, and she'd be steadily filtering those out that did not. Does that all make sense? I feel like I over-explained that too.
It does. I want to ask you a couple other questions about it if I can.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you're talking about a man adding value, I'm interpreting that, and I'm checking in with you on this. I'm interpreting that as he's going to continue to show up. He's going to continue to be there for you. He's going to continue to be engaged. He's going to continue to
Exactly.
communicate. He's going to show that he cares.
Absolutely. If I had to really simplify it, I would just say give the relationship a score out of 10 based on the last 10 to 20% of time. So, if you've been dating 100 days, based on the last 10 to 20 days, how would you score the relationship? Just that window. And if she says 8, 9, 10, great, he's adding value. He's present, he's showing up, he's being there for you. And I would certainly be encouraging him to ask the same questions of you, because a relationship should be mutual. It should add value on both sides. And as long as a relationship is mutually adding value, then why would you ever end it? That's crazy. Mm-hmm. But if there's a long period of time where that relationship is not adding value, that's when you have that reassessment. Okay, is this actually still serving me, or am I stuck in 6 months ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this maybe is being stuck also in like what you want it to be or what you wish it was or that it once was, which I call fantasy. It's not reality. It's not the reality of what is right now. It's like when women are saying, well, this relationship would be perfect. You've heard this, Mark. If only he would do da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Or if only he would do this, or the relationship would change in this way. And you're going, well, the problem is that
it's not.
If only.
If only,
but, that's another one, but it would be so great, but he's still married. Well, that but's a big butt.
This is what you got to say. If this problem never changed, would I be cool with it? And there's some problems if they never change, of course. There's always going to be problems. If he never, puts his clean washing back in the cupboard, would I be cool with it? Look, it's not ideal, but yes. If that's his worst crime, yes, I'll be cool with that. But if he's always married, you going to be cool with that? No. So is it clearly now, and is it meeting your standard or is it not? Reassessment.
I love this. This is really good. This is really good stuff.